Okay, this will be our next problem. Yan. Okay. So this is 5 amperes. 4, 2, 1, 2, 6, and the last one is 10 ohms.
Okay. The requirement here is, what is the power that is absorbed by the 6 ohm resistance? Equation for power is the voltage across your 6 ohms times the current across your 6 ohms. Or, we have variety of equations here. This is the current in your 6 ohms squared times 6 ohms. Or, the voltage across your 6 ohms squared all over 6. Depending upon your choice. Okay? So, supposing that we will be using yung pinakasimple na equation. Power in your 6 ohms is the voltage across your 6 ohms or the current in your 6 ohms quantity squared times 6. This will be your working equation. We need to find your current in your 6 ohm resistance. Okay, there is nothing new here, no? Because all the rest are still in parallel and series. First is, let us identify part by part. 6 and 2 are in parallel. The parallel combination of 6 ohms and 2 ohms is 1.5. Okay, 1.5 amperes. The combination of 1 and the total resistance of this parallel group will be 2.5. Correct? So that is 2.5 ohms. This 2.5 ohms is in parallel with 10. Okay? 2.5 in parallel with 10. Yan. That is 2 ohms. Ito. 2 ohms. And this 2 ohms is in series with 2 ohms. The value here now is 4 ohms. Okay? First is, we need to determine this current. What is this current? Sabihin natin, this one is X. We can find your X by applying your current divider rule. Okay? So, by current divider rule, your X is equivalent to the total current entering at this point, that is 5 amperes times 4 ohms all over 4 plus the resistance of this group, which is also 4 ohms, and the value is 2.5 amperes. Okay, so your X being 2.5, yan. Your 2.5 amperes, once it enters this node, will split into 2 equal parts. Ito, itong node na to. Once it enters, it will split into 2 equal parts. One part is this. And this current is what we need to obtain. Again, by using the same current divider rule. Okay? So, by current divider rule, your Y is equivalent to total current entering, that is 2.5 multiplied by 10 ohms all over 10 plus 1 ohm plus the total resistance of this 6 times 2 divided by 8 is 1.5. This is supposedly in ohms. 1 plus 1.5. There. So this is the value of y. So what is 2.5 times 10 divided by 10 plus 1 plus 2.5, and the value is 1.851 amperes. Tama? That is your y. It is 2.5 amperes times the resistance in the other side, that is 10 all over 10 plus 1 ohm plus the total resistance of this parallel branch, that is 1.851. Okay. To determine now the current in your 6 ohms is to reapply your current divider. Okay, so reapplying your current divider to obtain the current in your 6 ohms, that is 1.851 times 2 all over 2 plus 6. So the current in your 6 ohms is times 2 divided by 8 is 0.463 amperes. 0.463 amperes. It is this value of current that you should substitute to obtain the power that is being consumed or absorbed by your 6 ohms. So power in your 6 ohms is the square of the current, that is 0.463 squared, times the resistance of 6 ohms. Power absorbed is times 6, that is equivalent to 1.286 watts. Okay? Ganyan lang. There's nothing different with this with the rest of the examples that we have today. Okay?
Okay, this will be our next problem. This is 10 volts, 4 ohms, 2 amperes. Okay, we have an unknown element here, and this is our I. Okay.
You try to analyze how are you going to find your I. The value of this element is unknown. Okay? The solution of this is merely applying your current divider. Okay? So the current here is downward. Let us say that it is X. And X is equivalent to negative 2 amperes. So in terms of magnitude, your X is equivalent to, okay, the total current times the value of this unknown resistance R all over R plus 2. We know already the value of this current. So, kahit hindi ka na pala mag-current divider, ganito na lang, mas madali, no? The voltage across this is 2R. Okay? Negative 2R because the current is downward. If the voltage here is negative 2R, the voltage in the other side is also negative 2R. Okay? Negative 2 are volts. And the total current entering at this point is I. Current is I plus negative 2. Tama? O, yan. Bakit negative 2? Because the current direction is different. Tapos na. Di ba? The voltage across your 2 ohms plus the drop across your 4 ohms is the supply voltage of 10 volts. Yan. That is 4 times I plus negative 2 plus the voltage drop here according to Ohm's law is 2I. And that is equivalent to the total supply voltage of 10 volts. So this is 4 times I minus 2 plus 2I is 10. If we simplify, that is 4I minus 8 plus 2I is 10. 6I is 18, correct? So I is 18 all over 6. So your I is 3 amperes. Yan. That is how this problem is solved. Let me know if you have any queries.